Welcome to Teacher's World, where we celebrate the heroes of education. Join us on Teacher's World, only on the Achievement Channel.
Hello, and welcome to another inspiring episode of Teacher's World, the program that celebrates the pivotal role of educators in shaping the future and provides valuable resources for their professional and personal growth. I am Ugonwa Ohuche, your host, and I'm delighted to be with you today. You are watching the Achievement Channel, Nigeria's first and only 100% motivational TV station, broadcasting from the School of Eloquence studio in Ikoyi, Lagos. In today's episode, we'll be diving deep into how teachers can support the mental health of their students and foster a positive learning environment. It's going to be an insightful session, so stay tuned.
Join us on Teacher's World, only on the Achievement Channel.
I'm thrilled to introduce our guest today, Ms. Sarah Ndu. She's an educational psychologist and a dedicated mental health advocate who specializes in children and adolescents. She believes in a world where no child is neglected and every child receives the right education tailored to their unique learning style. Ms. Ndu, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So in your experience, knowing that you're an educational psychologist, what are some of the key mental health challenges that children and adolescents face today?
Okay, yes. Thank you so much for asking. Okay, in my experience, adolescents and children, they face quite a number of mental health challenges. And firstly, mental health is a crucial part of teaching and learning. A lot of children and adolescents face mental health challenges, which is neglected by either their parents or their teachers. And I will just make mention of few challenges here. One, let's talk about anxiety and stress. Anxiety and stress, a lot of children and adolescents are anxious and under stress because of, let's say, an expectation from family, expectation from parents, peer pressure thereabouts, and they are under, a certain kind of expectation from family, which puts them under pressure, where they need to have a certain kind of academic success. And if they are not, able to meet up with that kind of expectation from family or parents, they are under pressure and they're anxious. So another is trauma. Trauma is a key mental health factor. Most children have traumatic experiences, or they have what we call the PTSD, that's a post-traumatic stress disorder, where they begin to express whatever trauma they've had in the past. For instance, growing up, they probably had abusive parents, or they were abused as a child. And because they were abused, it's, would affect their mental health, affect the way they think, affect the way they process things, and even find it difficult to learn during the classroom activities.
Okay, I think this is quite insightful. Talking about parents not being aware sometimes of these challenges of the children. What are some of the practical strategies that, what role, do you think educators, can play in addressing these challenges? What are the strategies that educators can use in addressing these challenges?
Okay, thank you. Educators, which are teachers, first of all, are they are the first to actually take notes and figure out when a child is struggling mentally. They are the first to ever notice that a child is struggling mentally. So when a teacher or an educator finds out that this child is struggling mentally, because we teachers pay attention, or rather we spend more time with children in school rather than the way their parents do. A lot of times, most of these parents are actually more busy. They go to work very early in the morning. Before they come back, probably they have someone who picks their child from school, and they come back because of the hustle and the bustle of Lagos. They get back home, they're all tired. They pay less attention to their children. So we teachers pay more attention to these children because we spend more time. So first of all, we are the ones who can figure out that a child is struggling mentally. And when we can do that, we begin to observe. We observe their academic performance, their socializing skill, if they isolate themselves or they are just irritable, they, just flare up just by a little thing, they're angry or whatever. So one, we're able to observe. And while we observe that, we, educators or teachers are supposed to, now call this child, draw the attention of this child and, have a conversation, not being judgmental, have a conversation, just get to know what the matter is. Is there something, is there a problem at home? And by the time the teachers have had that conversation, they can now, furthermore take it to the parents, get to involve the parents of this child and pay attention to it. Furthermore, if it's, something that they think they should involve the school authorities, they should, get the school authorities involved.
This is so true. Picking the point of being in Lagos, where a lot of parents are actually really busy. I think I agree with you that now educators have an even greater role to play, especially in Lagos, knowing that many parents are busy, so they don't get to see the children as much as they would want to see the children or they should see the children. So what, can you give us some specific strategies, maybe one or two strategies that you think that teachers can use to support their students to support their mental health in the classroom while they're teaching?
Okay, some of the strategic methods that practical strategies that teachers can use to support the mental health of students. I would want to talk about growing up. It was quite difficult for me to learn because I had challenges socializing. I didn't know how to speak up. I had a very low self-esteem, so I didn't know how to. It was quite uncomfortable for me in class. And also because of the fact that I had challenges academically, where that term of a child being a dullard came from. I struggled with that. I struggled academically. I couldn't, I didn't have good grades. Yeah, I didn't have good grades growing up. And it now made the teachers and even my, classmates, look at me in a certain way. There's always that, stigma that comes with children who do not perform well academically. Yes. And with that, these children are not comfortable. So first of all, the first practical strategy every teacher can take is, creating a positive learning environment. No child is a dullard. Don't make any child feel like because they are being anxious in class when they ask them a question, or they fidget when they are being called to give a speech or something. They might be struggling with a mental health challenge that you do not know. And instead of making them feel less of themselves, create a positive environment, make them know that they can do better. They can do better than that. And secondly, have inclusive learning environments where you have to involve every child in a learning activity. You don't have to say, because this is a brilliant person or that is a brilliant person, then they should be the one to be pushed in any class activity. Involve everybody. Let every child be involved in any classroom activity. Practicalize it. Give them a group discussion. Give them a group work to do. And in that way, we can actually have a good teaching learning process.
Thank you so much for sharing your own personal experience, because it makes a world of difference when we hear from your personal experience. If I can reiterate what you have said about the strategies, creating a positive first and then an inclusive learning environment. Those are excellent points, Ms. Ndu. Thank you so much. Could you also give us an insight into how teachers can identify when a student actually needs support pertaining to their mental health in the classroom?
All right, thank you.
And what steps they could possibly take to support.
Okay, all right, thank you so much. I would say that teachers can they can get to know when a child is actually struggling mentally by observing. Observation is one of the key things to know. Every teacher is like, I say teachers are second parents. Yeah, teachers are second parents, where, you know, after their biological parents, then we have the teachers. So the first thing that they can do is to observe. When they've been able to observe the students, that's why they have to be able to pay attention to every child in their classroom, pay attention to every one of them, and observe their, you know, academic performance, observe their socializing skills, observe the way they interact with their fellow classmates and all of that. So by the time you're able to observe that, okay, this child was doing better last term, but this term now your grades are reducing, what's the matter? You know, then the steps they can take is that when they figured out that this child has, you know, a declining academic performance, then they would, you know, call this child aside, get to have a one-on-one communication with them, have a conversation with them, you know, just create a positive, you know, a non-judgmental atmosphere where, you know, this child can confide in them and get to talk, get to explain what it is, because children and adolescents do not like to talk about things. They prefer, you know, keeping things to themselves. But when you're able to create, you know, a calm, good, and positive environment, a non-judgmental one, trust me, they'll be able to open up with time. It might take a lot of time, but they would with time. And when you've been able to do that, the next step is to get their parents involved. Or if you feel getting their parents involved might be too much, you can tell the school authorities to get, you know, probably a guidance or a counseling, you know, strategy or so, a guidance counselor to help, or, you know, have a specialist, you know, a mental health specialist in their school where they can actually assist the child. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Ndu. These are excellent points that you have raised. So we will be taking a short break now. So you are still watching the Achievement Channel, and we're here with Ms. Ndu. We'll be back. Stay tuned.
For us here at the School of Eloquence, our primary focus is on the art of public speaking, because it's a major, major problem. And public speaking, we must understand, is the raw art of speaker to audience oral communication.
I got a lot more than I actually expected. I have overcome the few years I used to have.
The more you speak, the better you are at speaking.
School of Eloquence is the place you can be, and there's a turnaround. That change you are expecting, you get it there.
Welcome back to our program Teachers World. You are still watching the Achievement Channel here in the School of Eloquence studio in Ikoyi, and we're still with Ms. Sarah Ndu Adanna, our educational psychologist.
Thank you.
Ms. Ndu, before the break, we were talking about how you gave us insight into how teachers can observe when a student actually needs support and what to do about that. So earlier on, you had told us you had shared your own personal story. But as a follow-up, could you share a particular thing done by maybe a specific teacher that helped you out of that situation, or I mean, something that could help that we could learn from?
Yeah, thank you. Back then in my primary school, I think I would have to just, give a good background story. So it was quite difficult for me to assimilate, and that was because the way I was being taught was not my learning style. So that's where the educational psychology of children comes in. It wasn't my learning style, meaning there are different ways children learn, and there is a teaching method applicable for that learning style. So because of that, I found it difficult to learn. So for instance, I'm a visual learner. I learn better visually. I rather see what you're teaching me than just giving me theoretical, aspect of what you're teaching me. So that affected the way I learned and assimilated knowledge, which now made it, hard for me to read and write exams and have good grades. So fast forward to when some teachers, a particular teacher paid attention and she called me, okay, what is this? What's the matter? Is there something wrong? Is there anything at home? And is there a problem? And all of that. And what she did was so profound to me because after she had a conversation with me, I didn't even know because I was young. I didn't even know that, I had that as a challenge. So after she now realized that it's actually the way, and it's not like I didn't know how to read, write, and I did that, but I needed a better way to learn, which was a visual aspect of learning. So what she now did was that she now involved my parents and, told them that it's better off that, they get involved in my academics by, helping me to, having technologies like, other things to assist, like after school work, whatever thing that's been done from school, my parents should be able to, help me visually to learn, yes, probably with a phone or something, yes, just so that I can, be able to, and that helped for a while. That helped for a while. Also, I was not able to, now understand better what was learned. And with that, that now made me understand that I learned better visually. So fast forward into my secondary school and university days, I now understood that whatever is being taught theoretically, because of the Nigerian system of education, they do what they can do, the lecture method, give it to you and you're out. So I now understood better that this lecture method is not going to stick. All I have to do is that I go on YouTube, look for means to get what was taught in class. And trust me, when I do that, watch those videos, yeah, and when I do that, I'm able to understand every single thing that was taught in class, and that way I had better academic performance.
Beautiful. This is a powerful example of how one teacher, the care taken by one teacher, actually made a huge difference in your life. Thank you so much for sharing this story with us. Now, let's talk about self-care for teachers.
Okay.
Teaching is a demanding job.
Of course.
You agree, and I know that because I have the experience. And teachers also need to prioritize their own mental well-being. So what advice do you have for teachers for they themselves?
Okay, thank you. Teachers, first of all, you are not a therapist. It's not in your role to want to act the role of a therapist to every child. But I tell you, it is most important that you also prioritize your mental health, because if you are affected mentally, you cannot give in your best to every child that needs your support. So I would advise that prioritize your mental health as a teacher. Seek support if need be. Go for professional therapeutic sessions with mental health practitioners. Have one-on-one sections with them, and get to understand your own mental health and whatever thing you are struggling with and the solution that will be preferred to you. Prioritize your mental health. Take out time. Don't even overload yourself with work. It's hard, of course, as a teacher. It's hard. You need to, it's demanding. You need to meet the needs of every child in the school, but make sure you take out time for yourself. There are a lot of teachers that want to do a lot of things at the same time, where they, they are, after the school activity, after the school time that they've had in school, they still, have extra lessons in, with students. It's not wrong to have that, but most times, most teachers do that to like in different houses, home lessons. Yeah, they have home lessons over the week, over the weekend, all of that, just to like, meet up with things. But most times when you overwork yourself as a teacher, you would realize that when it's the first day of the week, that's on a Monday, you are stressed out. You wouldn't put in so much for the students that actually need your help and support. So make sure you prioritize your mental health, reduce every stress as possible as you can. Reduce it, because whatever you have is what you can give out. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Ndu. So finally, for the teachers who are watching us today, what is your message, your takeaway message for them, at least just in one sentence?
All right. Thank you very much. So my takeaway message to teachers is this: you play a vital role in the future of every child. You either make their future or you destroy their future. No child should be left behind. No child is a dullard. Please put in the best efforts that you can in making their future, and they will thank you for how much effort that you did. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure, Miss Ndu. Thank you so much for being on the program with us today. And we've gone away with this insight: no child should be left behind. Thank you.
Join us on Teacher's World, only on the Achievement Channel.
That's it for today on Teacher's World. Remember, small actions can make a big difference in a child's life. And by prioritizing mental health, you're not just shaping students, you are shaping futures. Would like to hear from you. Share your thoughts, experiences, and questions on social media using the hashtag #TeachersWorld. Let's keep the conversation going. Follow us at Achievement Channel on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for daily doses of inspiration, exclusive content, and behind-the-scenes updates. Use the hashtag #WeSeePossibilities and share your thoughts with us. Stay inspired, stay focused, and keep seeing possibilities on the Achievement Channel, where we see possibilities.
Join us on Teacher's World, only on the Achievement Channel.